Hello. Guess we're gonna get started now. So this is gonna be a little bit scuffed and different because this is my first time doing this. I'm not gonna be able to ask you any questions live or anything along those lines. So it's gonna be a little bit difficult, but we'll get through. Besides that, once we're done, like feel free to like ask any questions kind of through Discord. About anything I said, just like leave like a time marker in the video, something like that, so that I can see and like time marker and then quote something along those lines so that I know kind of what you're asking about for the context. But besides that, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so kind of the first thing that we should always be looking for in every single game is team composition. That's the first thing that needs to come to our mind, because team composition will dictate how we play, where we're positioning, how we use abilities, our play style for the game, and it's going to change based off of each team comp. So right now they are running a ball Orisa. So you are probably going to be wanting to spam the shield because they only have one and is on a very a longer cooldown now. So you're gonna get a lot of value off of trying to break that shield for your team. Whereas up against a double shield, that you probably want to try to go around the shields rather than through them. But that's just the first thing I see so far. Is we kind of need to make sure that in these scenarios that we're looking for that. All right. Rewind it here. So right here, um, we are not really shielding anything underneath. This is a scenario where we want to either take shield down or shield the widow, and shielding the widow gets more value right now. Things that we like, so we take shield down, we shield widow, and then we try to damage her until she backs up. Here, I would throw some orbs at her because she doesn't have healing. That would drive her off of the high ground, requiring her to get healing, and then that would give you time to put down your shield and rotate it without her actually being able to just sit there. So pressure her with your orbs. You didn't actually put any damage on her. So now she gets to sit there for free. So that's gonna be really important that you do that. So now she's just taking pot shots at your son. Alright, that's very good. Like just shoot at her. Yep. Kinda like that. Okay, if we're looking at shield placement, every time our shields. Oh, that's fuzzy. Okay, so watch the shield. So we place it out there, and then they kind of move over to the side. So now they all walk over to the other side, and this shield, there's no one behind that shield. The shield's not getting value, so you're not shielding your team, as well as the fact that it's just taking like unnecessary damage. So this shield's gonna go down really fast now, because we're not preserving it, as well as the fact that it's not protecting anything. So they have no one standing behind that. That shield's not protecting anything. So you either recall this to regen it, or you recall it and then send it back out. So shield usage could use a little bit of work. Make sure that it's actually blocking stuff, and if it's not blocking stuff, then you're instantly recalling it. Like we leave that there for a very extended period of time, and then now it's at like 400 health. Wow, it got really blurry. Oh, okay, that's helpful. Okay, so again, shield usage. That entire fight, shield was up on the high ground, basically protecting very little. Better usage would have been to send it all the way to the widow or to put it right in front of your team, that type of deal. Plus, you put it out basically the entire fight. You never recalled it, and then that meant that it was constantly sitting at 400 health. Recall it so that you can regen it because then it's full, and then you can push more aggressively when it's full. Um, if you constantly leave it at low health, then you're not gonna get value out of shield. Okay, wait, let's see. What was our what did we use our shield at previously for? All right, so we send out shield. Shields reach, take it back, or it breaks actually. Okay, it breaks. We're recharging it, and then we send it out like right there. Okay, and then it goes down. Yeah, like right now, biggest thing I'm seeing is shield usage. Like there's some mechanical things, but mechanics can't be worked on. Insane. I'll go over mechanics in a second, but biggest thing I'm seeing so far is shield usage. You can't have it sitting below 500 health the entire fight. You need to recall it sometimes. Make sure that you're not leaving it in sections that don't get it value and just get it spammed for no reason. Besides that, your mechanics. So I'm seeing you miss a lot of orbs and a lot of rocks. To practice mechanics, best place to practice and to warm up if you don't warm up. Is free for all, and the reason why free for all, I would recommend warming up like before you play comp every day, and the reason why is warm ups can basically unrust your aim, and right now you're missing a lot of orbs, so it also gives you really good practice. So yeah, FFA. The reason why you want that over like quick play or anything like that is that it's fast paced. One, it's faster paced than quick play. Two is it's going to like there's no objectives, there's no teammates. You don't have to worry about anybody else than the current 1v1 or the current 1v1v1, that type of deal. Like it's just raw mechanics. Um, I guess like Sigma might not be the best for FFA. If you're like exclusively playing tank, then FFA might not be the best since it's just up against DPS. But you can definitely get that'll be a good place to get used to actually hitting your orbs and rocks on squishy targets because right now you're not hitting a lot of them, and that's going to cost you damage. That's going to cost you ult charge, and overall you're going to be, if you're hitting more of them, then you're going to be a more consistent player. Um, One other thing on like kind of the note of Rust is make sure that you're playing at least once a day. And the reason why is because if you don't play for an entire day, then Rust will start to set in, and Rust can greatly impede mechanics. As like one day off can take a few days to actually get back to where you were before. Like if you take a week break, it can take 2 to 3 weeks to get back to where you were before. Like Rust is like basically it's a multiplier. So like any days that you take off, it'll multiply it by 2 or 3 days for each day you take off. So highly recommend at least one FFA. So like if you're busy all day, one single 10-minute game can stop you from losing your mechanics and your muscle memory in your hand. So yeah, that's basically it for mechanics. I can't work a whole lot of mechanics. I'll look for some kind of uh, crosshair placement things, but besides that, there's not a whole lot on my end that I can do about your mechanics besides just help you out. But yeah, shield usage is the biggest thing so far. Okay, very good with tab. I like that. Like you're pressing tab. A lot of people at your rank don't do that. Just make sure that when you're pressing tab, you're taking that information. I'd probably say not the best swap there. If anything, if you're trying to go back to stall, then ball's the better pick there. But the thing was that you had your ultimate, and Sigma ult is very good. Um, so that Sigma ult baits out beat, and now you just, I mean, like I don't know how you'd use it in gold, but now beat gets free value for your grab. So basically, you just gave up a beat baiter. I'd recommend either staying for that, and ball's just faster to get back anyways. Monkey's probably not the pick here. You also did not leap once. You need to use your movement abilities. It's a 5-second cooldown, so that's gonna get back up 2 or 3 times on your walk back from spawn, and you're gonna be getting back that. Therefore, you're gonna be getting back much faster if you're using leap. So make sure that you're using leap. Okay, wait. Let's watch that one more time. Yeah. So not much we could do there. It's basically a 1v4, but stalling, like, we kind of have to think about it. Like, was stalling that extra 3 seconds worth getting off Sigma and wasting the ultimate? Probably not. And if you were even going to stall, I'd recommend the ball, because ball's much better for stalling and staying alive. He has more kill potential and more survivable potential, and he's faster. And basically here, like, we need to look at it like it's 5 people are on point. It's basically a 5v1 to whoever touches. You don't win that. Monkey's probably not the pick. I'd swap back to Sigma or go Ursa, one of the two. But probably not Monkey. Stay on Monkey, because they're running Kree Hog. So you're kind of gonna get kind of dumpstered, especially when you have no one else on your team who can dive with you. Yeah, you recognize this, so you're gonna make the spawn. Sigma probably even gets even more value than Ryan does here, because since they're not running any shields, I'm pretty sure they're running Roadhog and Zarya. You're gonna get a lot of free damage with your orbs because you don't have to spam shields. And then that means you're gonna get more damage and more ult charge. Ryan kind of wants to run into something, but with the comp that they have, they're kind of playing very split, and they're not centered around anything. So Reinhardt's not gonna get a lot of value. I know I'm kind of talking a lot about like, kind of best characters for certain situations, but you kind of need to read, like I said before, like, team comp will dictate how you play, and you need to be able to read the team comp and go, okay, they have this, we have this, this is what I'm going. So don't just look at our Zarya and so, hey, we have a Zarya, I'm gonna go Reinhardt. Look at their team comp and go, okay, well, am I gonna be able to swing at anything? Do they have like do they have a bunker comp that I can run into? Okay, they don't. I probably want to go Sigma here then, because I can just shoot them for free. Okay, so our number one goal right now should be to build Shatter. Since we're on Reinhardt, we're not going to talk anymore about not being on Reinhardt, but if we're on Reinhardt in this scenario, they don't have shields. Number one goal is to build Shatter, because then we have easy ultimate. But did I say shields? Our ultimate, sorry, our goal here is to build Earth Shatter, and then we get easy ultimate because they have no shields. Okay, Fire Strike more often, basically off of cooldown. Every time you get it, be Fire Striking, because that means that you are overall going to be getting a lot more value off of it, because you can Basically, like if you're using it all the time, then you're gonna basically be getting more ult charge. That's how it kind of works. Fire Strike's your best source of ult charge, so be getting that. Again, we're having trouble with like kind of let your shield recharge. Tell your team, hey guys, I'm letting shield recharge, no shield. Same with on Sigma. Like you don't let your shield recharge, and then that means that they're just poking right now. They're not even pushing in. So when they do push in, your shield's therefore just gonna be dead by the time they actually push. You don't like you don't give it. You put it down for 1 second and you don't let it recharge. Like that's just not damage we need to be blocking. This is completely unnecessary. There's just poking. You need to be saving your shield for when the fight's actually starting. So now we have to back up. We don't shield. We're letting it recharge. Fire strike. Okay, very good. We want to be doing that off cooldown. Like kind of. Okay, we're gonna watch this real quick. So you use fire strike. It came back. We're gonna count down until next time you use it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we could have fit 2 fire strikes in that time that you took to do 1 fire strike. So use it twice as more often, and you're gonna get twice as much ult charge. Did we have shield there? No, it's broken. Okay, so what do we use? Just use shield on. So no shield because we're taking random spam, and then Roadhog comes in, and we don't have a shield for Roadhog. Again, we're taking random spam. Like shield usage is actually the number one reason why you're losing this match. So basically, don't shield like spam. Spam should not be shielded, especially if you're running a Zarya. Spam can be shielded if you're running double shield. If you're running a Zarya who can't shield anything, you need to be conserving shield for when you actually need it. So that's when someone's low. That's when someone's ulting. That's when the fight's actually starting and everyone's like brawling inside of each other. That's when you get low. Because right now, when you're getting melted, you don't have a shield. And when your Zarya was low, you didn't have a shield. You lost this fight because you didn't have shield. And that's actually like that's very detrimental. That Oh, I can't talk, but you get the point. Okay, so Fire Strike's the shield. So that's a pretty good round. We stalled them to a minute and 40. Just a little tip in case you didn't know this, because I can't obviously can ask you if you know this or not, but when you are on top of those boxes that you just stood on, if you go up to the one Zarya sitting on, yep, right here, the one you're standing on right now, and you face out of spawn, you can see straight to where the high ground is, and you can call out to your team what their composition is. And again, composition is very important. We want to know what they're running because that's gonna dictate where we're walking, like kind of how we're gonna play. If they're running like spam characters, like Junkrat, if they're running like Mei, if they're running like a Bastion, we probably Bastion's maybe not, but like if they're running like Junk or Mei, we probably don't want to go left side. Going left side will mean that they can spam us very easily in a room and wall us very easily. If they're not, then we can go right side or main. Or sorry, if they are, then we can go right side or main. If not, we can go left side. If they're running Bastion, that's good information for your team to know. Like, as they can swap and spawn to something else. Like, that's just kind of getting the head start on what they're running can be very important to knowing how you're gonna play. Not all maps will have this, but like most maps you can at least see like a few things people are running, especially on like defense. If you have like a Hanzo Sonic, or you can just listen. That's kind of niche, but just mentioning it while we're in spawn. Like, see, yep, we called that out to our team. A Widow. That's good information. Okay, Junkrats, we probably don't want to go left room because we're gonna get spammed. Okay, we're pushing left. So the reason why you don't want to push left rather than going right side is more open, and you can even take high ground if you want to. But right side denies a choke. Going left side allows them to spam you into a tiny little room, and Junkrat gets exponentially more value out of you going left side. So again, like see, even like you're down a Zarya because you as a team chose to go left side. If you as the Reinhardt say, "Hey, let's go right side," then your team follows. Okay, so here we have no shield. We are down Zarya. We should probably be backing up because we don't win this fight and we don't want to be taking meaningless damage. Okay. Okay, so we see her Ana. We right before we turn the corner, we see her duck behind cover. We see her duck behind cover, so we are actually shielding nothing here. And then we're taking damage to ourselves and the shield. So now shield's below half again. And then when people are actually crossing, we're not paying attention. People looking. All right, so make sure that you're kind of on top of that. You're actually shielding when people are crossing, and now when people aren't. Just kind of a tip for your comms is call what target you're swinging at, because that's going to help tremendously in your team to focus it down. Call Sigma, like, or like Sig 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 Sig, and then like your team can actually like know what target you're shooting at. It seems like common sense, but like pros to it. Like, it's very helpful to know what you're actually shooting at rather than just expecting everyone to be shooting at the same thing. If 6 people are shooting at one thing, then they die faster and they can't get healing. This is another part of team composition that we need to take into account. Like, we need to know team composition so that when they have Mercy, we can go, okay, they have Mercy. We have to push aggressively every single time we get a kill. Where's the Mercy resing from? He's inside the room. So yeah, she's resting right here. If we're watching for that and paying attention to it, we can just easily bulldoze her down while she's resting. But she got it for free. Remember, res delayed. Okay, so make sure that we're kind of not leaving our team. Our team should be with us, but at the same time, if we're not communicating anything and our entire team is somewhere else, then they don't have their main tank with them, and you're basically the one flanking, and that means that they all die. To Widow, to Roadhog, they're all by themselves, and you're kind of running around chasing Lucio. Okay, so we're going into fights with ultimates. Oh, are we gonna get rid of Shatter? Yes, we are. Okay, again, Monkey probably isn't the pick here. I would say the Sigma would probably be the pick. Since you're running Zarya, You want the shield for the like sorry, the Widowmaker, you like kind of want the shield for that. Right now you don't have a shield anymore. Both of your DPS are gonna have some, and your Ana are gonna have trouble up against those now that you're on Winston. You don't have anything to dive with you. So your goal right now is to dive a pocketed Widowmaker from the Mercy. So you're probably gonna have a very hard time here. So Monkey isn't the pick, even though Monkey's a dive character. Like, you need to evaluate the compositions. They have Hog, they have Junkrat, they have a pocketed Widow. You don't have anything that can follow up with you, and now your team doesn't have a shield. Like, these things need to be taken into account when you're thinking of a swap. Plus, you gave up Shatter. That's another big thing. If you had I probably don't agree with going Ryan in the first place, just because Sigma's like better in that against that composition. But since you were on Ryan, staying on with Shatter, which took you a very long time to get, like it took you 2 minutes to get Shatter, like that's a big ultimate that can potentially win you a fight that you just kind of gave up for free. Same with when you gave up the Sigil. So kind of put more thought into when you're going for swaps. What are we running? What are they running? What map are we on? Monkey Bubble should very rare, like almost never be used like this. Kind of as a like Monkey is since it's on a cooldown, not a recharge. Monkey can't be using his bubble to block random spam or chokes or anything like that, because you're gonna see it goes down in 2 seconds. I'm gonna pause it. Okay, it is now gone. That lasted 2 seconds. Now it's on a 12-second timer. Um, Monkey Bubble, the only use it has is isolating targets. That's the only thing it does. Is it makes sure that like like if you're diving the Widowmaker and you're bubbling, that means that the Widowmaker can't get heals, or the Widowmaker can't get team support. You're cutting her off, and that's what Monkey Bubble's for. It also like it kind of puts you and her in the bubble, and you can dodge in between the bubble while everyone else is trying to shoot you, and it gives you time to kill her. That bubble wasn't useful for your team. Again, so like here, I don't know if I agree with going left side. You're giving junk spam. Sorry, like I'm repeating a lot of stuff, but you're doing same things over and over again. You're giving junk spam angles. You don't get value out of going this way in Monkey. Only thing I'd say is maybe like you go like top left through the window, but that's about it. Okay, you wasted bubble again. Yep, we want to get the health back. Very good. Okay, we almost hit bubble. What right now? What needs to happen is we should be looking for a dive onto the Widowmaker. And see, in this time, 2 of our supports are dead because they don't have a main tank. When they have a Junkrat, remember evaluating compositions. Make sure that we're checking for traps everywhere. Like, we need to be looking at the ground and making sure that we're not getting into traps. Because then we're wasting bubbles, then we're wasting health, then we're wasting time. Okay, we're half. We probably want to look for that Mega again. Alright. So yeah. So we just spent kind of a minute dueling the Junkrat, losing to the Junkrat. It's not, and then in the meantime, our team is down 1 as well. Like, it's not 100% that you're making mistakes. It's also that you're not picking characters that are going to be right in these scenarios. Like right now, Monkey is not a good pick, and you're gonna have a very, very difficult time getting value out of him. Okay, very good. Add in the melee when you're chopping. I think I might have seen it, but I think you like canceled it with a reload or something. Okay, good pick. But again, I'm pretty sure. Like, I think we've canceled almost 3 ults this game. 73 ults. So like, we've had like, I don't know if we've used a single ult this entire game. It's because we swapped to Monkey, we swapped to Ryan, and then we didn't shatter until we lost. Yeah, I don't think we've used a single ult in a 2-round game. Like, that probably shouldn't be happening, and a lot of that's due to you canceling 3 of those with swaps. Would highly recommend, if you're picking a bad hero. I mean, like, you shouldn't be picking the hero in the first place, but like, if you just stay for the ult, because like, unless you're like, I guess like, there, I'd probably say, sorry, it's hard to tell sometimes. All I'm saying is don't do that 3 times in a row. But you can swap if it's if Hog, or if the Monkey's terrible pick there, and he pretty much was. But giving up Shatter and giving up Sigil probably isn't very smart. Very good Rock there. Again, wait, sorry. Let's watch what happened to Shield. But yeah, like, we sent it in main when we're running in main, so it instantly went down. Better ways to do this is take different routing. So tell your team, hey, let's go right side or let's go left side. And now, if you're running down main, you're relying on shields to block spam. If you're going down right side, you don't need any shields because you can just kind of run through. So taking a different path makes it so that your shield doesn't instantly die. Okay, so while you're dead, so first off, like, kind of when you die, look for things that you could have done better, because that's the number one way that you can improve yourself, so that you're constantly improving, even when you don't have someone coaching you. Look at how you died and go, okay, did I use my abilities wrong? Was I standing in the wrong spot? There, I'd say you kind of did both. Like, you you went the wrong direction, and that caused you to use your abilities wrong. To like, because you kind of needed to block all the spam, and then you died because of it. Think about those things, and then in the future you go, okay, this time if they have all this spam and we're running one shield, we're gonna go right side, and then that way you're taking the path that has less spam angles. They can't shoot you as much if you're running right side than down straight down middle. All right, I want to tab real quick. So I'm gonna, since we have quite a bit left, time wise, and we only have like 3 minutes left. I'm gonna go over some comp stuff. I've already heard you talk, so I know that you at least talk a little bit when you're in comp. But I'm gonna get into a little bit more kind of advanced comm tactics that you can use to organize your team better and just get higher game sense in general, so that you kind of know how the game works better. So, first thing, I said this before, call the thing that you're shooting at. So if you're on Reinhardt, call what you're swinging at. If you're on Sig, call the thing that you're shooting at, and then this way your whole team can focus it. So if you're calling it, then they'll die faster. So then after that, there is going to be shot calling. So part of shot calling. So first thing is going to be calling when fights are won and lost. When you are, pay attention to kill feed, and then when you're down 2 people, that's a lost fight. If you're up 2 people, that's a one fight. If you're up one person, that's an advantage. But remember that you can't feed, even if you have one pick. If you're down one person, then that means you're at disadvantage. But remember, the fight's still winnable. So then, based off of that information, if you're down 2 people, go, hey, no ults, no ults, lost fight. No ults, no ults, we won. That way, you're not using 3 ults in a fight that you already won. Because they're not paying attention to kill feed and paying attention to how many kills you got. And at the same time, if you're losing a fight, you can go, "Hey guys, no ults, we lost." And then that way, you're not using 3 ults in a fight that you're already down people in, because that means that you can't follow up on the ultimates. And then that way, you're gonna have a better ult economy as a team. You're gonna be able to have more ults for the next fight. Next thing after that uh, is going to be target call. Sorry, ult tracking. So basically, after every single fight, I've seen you do this, so it's a very good habit to already have. You press tab after every single fight. And then once after you press tab, you're gonna kind of use it as a visual, and you're gonna go left to right on the enemy team comp and go, okay, this isn't just a disclaimer, this isn't accurate to this round. I'm just kind of making this up as I go. So last fight I saw and heard that Hog, Sigma, and Kree use their ults, so they don't have those ultimates. I don't know if they have the rest of. Oh, okay, and then I saw Junk swap, so they just swapped the Junkrat. They don't. That means they don't have that. So right now, we already know they don't have 4 ults coming up, and they should be called to your team. Then what you go is, okay, team. I don't know if they have Mercy or Lucio. Did they use those there? And then you can go, and then they say, okay, they have Valk, or sorry, they use Valk, and then you can go, okay, next fight, all they have is Lucio, and then that way your team can prepare for it. So I have people talking in the background, then it kind of makes it hard to think. So yeah, so all they have is Lucio. You call that, and your team can prepare for it. So besides that, like next thing that comes up is ult management. So you're gonna go over your team now next, and you're gonna go, okay, what ults do we have, and what are we gonna use? So you're gonna go again. This isn't gonna be accurate to what you actually have. Actually, we can make it accurate. So we have this fight. We're coming up on Grav and High Noon. So we'd say, okay, this fight we're using Grav High Noon. That way your team knows what the plan is, and we can set up for the plan. You can say, hey, Zarya, you save bubble for McCree when he's high nooning. You can say if we, and then what this also does is it prevents your entire team, if you have 6 ultimates, from using all 6 ultimates. So if you have 6 ults, you can go, okay, we're just using Grav High Noon, and then that way you're only using 2 instead of 6, and then you'll have better ult economy. Mainly, I mean, if you're kind of like on second point like this, that's not how it works. But like on defense, when you're defending, you can't use all 6 because then they have ultimates and you don't. So you want to stagger them, so like 2 at a time, and then by the time those 2 are used, then you go for the next one. So you combo the ults to conserve ults. Kind of an example of that is of why this is so important. It's like if you have a Grav Dragon. If you have a Grav Dragon, I guarantee you've had games where you have both Grav and Dragon, yet for some reason your Zarya just whiffed out Grav when your Hanzo was in spawn, or your Hanzo just like shot out Dragon for some reason without waiting for the Grav. Like it just happens because it wasn't called. If you call that, then it happens. Again, like you can take all of this and just kind of not do it because it's up to you whether or not you want to talk. But I've heard you talk a decent bit, so that might be very useful for you to implement. Again, we're walking down main. If we're walking down main, we have to make this fast. Say, hey, let's speed boost down main. Because right now you're taking a long time walking forward, and that's going to mean that you're taking more damage. When you see that you get bubbled, like you just did, make sure that you're taking down shield so that it doesn't get damaged and hopefully starts recharging while you're using your bubble. Same thing with while you're eating. Make sure when you're sending out your sigil, unless you're purposefully trying to block something, that you're putting it right in front of you. So like right here, You send out the shield. What is that blocking? It's a mercy. It's not shielding you. You're not blocking anything. So make sure that shield is either zoning off something, so like a hit scan or something along those lines, or it's right in front of you. Because if it's right in front of you, then you can like kind of shield dance with the Sigma. But right now you're taking damage and you're not. You're kind of like again like shield usage is a humongous thing. Okay, unfortunate. Do we have shield? Is the question. So when we hear tire, it's unfortunate that we used our eat, but and we also didn't have shield at all. But the only possible way that we survive this tire is if we have shield up, and then we can shield tire or try to shield dance tire. Shield dancing, I don't know if you know the term, but meaning just kind of moving in like in between the shield to try to get to either side of it. But that's the only way you survive here, and you don't. So unfortunate. While you're dead, if you're not looking at how you died and thinking like, okay, well, like what could I have done better? Start calling things. So like go, okay guys, regroup, get out, get out. Next we have a minute left, let's regroup. That type of deal. You're down 3, this is a lost fight. They have close spawns. That means it's gonna be like a 3v6 soon. That's definitely not a one fight. So if you're calling that and calling no more ults, then that means that your team either dies or gets out, and then the fight's resolved faster. Use this time while you're dead, like kind of use every single second of the game that like as like a kind of a resource. Like you're using every second to do something, and you're gonna get more value overall. So make sure that while you're dead, you're calling something. You can call targets if your team's still alive. You can call to get out. You can start the tracking and ult management process right now in spawn while you're dead. So there are 3 different routes on this map, and I'm assuming you go down this route again. Um, take different routes. The definition, or one of the definitions of insanity, is repeatedly doing something over and over again and expecting a different result. You are continuously walking down the same exact path with the same exact comp against the same exact comp and expecting to not have your shield melted and get picked before and take damage even before the fight starts. So you're continuously doing the same thing over and over again that hasn't worked. If you do take a different route and try something differently and communicate to that to your team, then you're gonna have higher chances of success. And if you're doing different things throughout different games, then maybe you can go like you can start basically you can go, okay, well, we I went 3 different routes this game, and when I went right side, it worked. So maybe next time, and next time I get an Anubis map, I'm gonna go right side and see if it works again. And then you go, okay, well, it worked again. I start to like right side. Let's go right side more often. So you start to develop, if you do more things and more options, then you start to develop a sense of what works and what doesn't work. And then that's gonna be kind of a way to get better at the game. Like kind of do more things. You're continuously doing the same thing over and over again, and then it's not working, and then you're kind of scratching your head and going, "Huh, why isn't this work? Like, what's happening? Why am I losing?" It's because you're walking down the same path and expecting a different result. You don't have shields again. You have your ults. Okay, winnable. Okay, very nice. You waited. That was a very good ult. You waited for the placement. And I'm also gonna say I'm pretty sure this is our first ult of the entire game. So good job. We had very good placement. We didn't instantly pop it on the Sig when we saw him, and we got 3 up in the air. Very good. Push shield to the ground more. If you have it up in the air, then they can shoot your feet. Ooh, very nice. They just stand on your head. So that confused me a bit too. Okay, we'll rewind that for a second so you can see what happened to Hog. So if you're calling targets here, there's there's 4 people on point right now. That means that your focus as a team is split between 4 people. If you're calling targets, then that your entire team focus is on one thing and they die faster. If you're doing that consistently, then you're gonna be you're gonna win more games. That's why stalls are so bad. Is because you're not focusing anything. So you just got picked 1 by 1. Like very valiant effort there. Good final round. Good final fight. Besides that, target focus is a big thing there. So as a main tank, calling is very important. So like if you're playing, or I guess I don't know if I'd classify you as a main tank, but since you play Sig, but um, as a tank player, calling it can be very important because to help you climb because you need to communicate your plan and what you're thinking of doing because a lot of the times you're the one kind of leading the team so you tell your team where you're going. You say, okay, we're not going main this time, we're going to go right side. You're the one who calls what like or it should be calling when what ultimates you're using because you usually have one of the biggest ultimates in the game. So kind of main things, main themes that I saw during that entire game is bad swaps. So we swap to bad things. And you kind of need to read the enemy team comp before you swap, and your team comp and what map it is, and think about all of those before you swap. Next thing is you swapped 3 times while you had ultimate the entire game. Probably don't want to do that because then you don't have ultimates, which ultimates are team fight winning games. Uh, team fight winning things that let you win games. Probably don't want to do that. On top of that, shield usage was pretty terrible. You want to make sure that you're not shielding random spam and you're actually using it for when you need it. After that, I'm trying to think of some more. Don't go down the same path over and over again. We also talked about some callouts that you can try to implement into your games. So that's pretty much it. I will have notes, like just kind of so that you have it in a written format that you can kind of just glance at. I'll have you notes like as soon as possible. Doesn't really matter that I guess I'm saying this anyways. Because I'll just have it to you anyways. But yeah, I will see you.